The only way to get rid of a temptation is to yield to it. Resist it, and your soul grows sick.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're opening up a story where perfect beauty isn't just skin deep.
Not at all. It's almost a cover, isn't it? A license for, well, moral decay underneath.
Exactly. We're getting into Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray.
And we really want to distill those fatal ideas driving the main characters.
It's more than just a gothic horror story.
Oh, absolutely. It's practically a philosophical blueprint. Wilde gives us this manifesto right at the start, you know?
In the preface, yeah, says of this huge clash between, like, aesthetic detachment and actual human conscience.
So our mission today is to kind of cut through that surface beauty.
And really understand how Dorian Gray's soul gets systematically destroyed.
Right, through this toxic mix of art, hedonism, and ultimately consequence.
And you can't really understand Dorian's fall without starting where Wilde starts.
The preface. It's not just an intro. It's pretty radical stuff for its time.
A declaration of war on Victorian morality, almost.
Yeah.
It's the foundation for aestheticism itself.
Yeah, and aestheticism, just to be clear for everyone listening, is basically this idea that art exists just for its own sake. L'art pour l'art.
Art for art's sake. Elevating beauty, sensation.
Way above traditional ideas of what's moral or useful. Wilde just lays it out with these, like, shocking statements.
And the big one, maybe the most controversial, is about morality in books.
Ah, yes. There is no such thing as a moral or an immoral book.
He just says books are well-written or badly written, that is all.
Which must have been incredibly provocative. He's telling people, stop looking for lessons, stop judging the art.
Just look at the art itself.
Yeah.
As an autonomous thing.
And that connects to his other point about interpretation, right?
Yeah, that art doesn't mirror life.
It mirrors the viewer. It is the spectator and not life that art really mirrors.
So if you see something ugly or corrupt in the book,
Wilde's basically saying, that's on you, buddy. He even warns, those who go beneath the surface do so at their peril.
it's a brilliant defense mechanism, really.
Totally. And then the kicker, all art is quite useless.
But that uselessness is key, isn't it? If art has no practical purpose, no moral duty,
then maybe a beautiful life like Dorian's, can claim that same detachment. It creates this philosophical space.
a vacuum almost, where only form and sensation seem to matter.
And that's the exact atmosphere we walk into in Basil Hallward's studio in Chapter 1.
Oh, the description of that studio is amazing. Wilde just floods your senses.
Right. The rich odor of roses, the heavy scent of the lilac.
And Lord Henry Wotton is just lounging there.
Smoking those opium-tainted cigarettes. It's all very lush, very decadent, but also...
Already feels a bit dangerous. Poisoned, like you said.
And right there, we meet our central trio. First, Basil Hallward, the artist.
He's completely devoted to this portrait of Dorian Gray. He calls it his best work.
But he won't exhibit it. He says he's put too much of myself into it.
Which is fascinating, going back to the preface. Wilde says, conceal the artist.
But Basil, who's kind of the moral center here, immediately breaks that rule. He pours his soul in.
So he has to hide the painting. Almost like morality and this pure aesthetic ideal can't quite coexist.
Basil really idolizes Dorian. Sees him as more than just a model.
Calls him a new personality for art in comparison to, like, Greek ideals.
And tenacious, yeah. For Basil, Dorian represents this perfect harmony of soul and body. He's the idealist.
And then you get Lord Henry Wotton, the serpent in the garden.
Definitely. His goal isn't making art. It's influencing people, molding them.
He talks about wanting to project one's soul into some gracious form, like pouring his ideas into Dorian.
Like a subtle fluid, yeah. He's the cynic, the experimenter.
And his dialogue is just weaponized wit, isn't it? It systematically undermines morality.
Totally, like defining conscience as just the trade name of the firm.
Dismissing it as basically a business term. So clever, so damaging.
He doesn't tell Dorian be bad. He just makes badness sound sophisticated or, necessary for a full life.
And he hates intellect getting in the way of beauty.
Beauty, real beauty, ends where an intellectual expression begins. He just wants the perfect surface.
Which makes Dorian the perfect target. He's introduced as this young Adonis.
Like ivory and rose leaves.
Yeah.
Beautiful, innocent, and completely impressionable. A blank canvas.
And Lord Henry immediately starts painting on it. With that speech about youth fading.
Oh, yeah. The tragedy of growing old. He urges Dorian, live the wonderful life that is in you.
Be always searching for new sensations. Be afraid of nothing.
That's the core of his new hedonism. It sounds like empowerment, but it's a trap.
And the trap springs the moment Basil finishes the portrait.
Dorian sees it. He hears Lord Henry's words echoing about losing his youth.
While the painting stays perfect, and then he makes the wish.
That mad wish, let the painting age and bear the sins, let me stay young and beautiful.
And it happens.
It does, and the picture instantly becomes his conscience, the very thing Henry dismissed.
The first sign appears after he's incredibly cruel to Sybil Vane, the actress.
He gets home, looks at the portrait.
And there's a touch of cruelty in the mouth, just a subtle change.
And this whole Sybil Vane episode is crucial, isn't it? It shows the clash between art and life.
Absolutely. Dorian falls for her because she's a brilliant actress. She embodies art for him.
She's all the great heroines of the world in one. He loves the illusion.
But then she falls in love with him, for real.
And suddenly she can't act anymore. She performs terribly one night.
She tells him that real love made the stage seem like hollowness, the sham. She's sick of shadows.
Real emotion killed her art in her eyes.
And Dorian's reaction is just brutal, but chillingly logical, based on Lord Henry's ideas.
He basically says, without your art, you are nothing.
I will never see you again. He values the performance over the person.
And when she tragically kills herself.
Lord Henry steps right in to manage Dorian's reaction.
No comfort, no empathy. He reframes it, calls her death a wonderful ending to a wonderful play.
Encouraging Dorian to be a spectator in his own life. Detached, cold.
And Dorian buys it completely. He leans into that aesthetic detachment.
He locks the portrait away, right,
Yeah.
in the old schoolroom.
Covers it with this rich, heavy, purple and gold pall, literally hiding his conscience.
Trying to get back to the surface pleasures. Ignore the degradation of sin.
But hiding it just seems to, well, accelerate the inner corruption.
Fueled by that yellow book Lord Henry gives him.
Ah, the mysterious yellow book, described as having no real plot, just a psychological study.
Written in this curious jeweled style.
And it acts like a poison or maybe a guidebook for Dorian.
It makes things he'd only dimly dreamed of seem real, possible.
It confirms his path towards the new hedonism, this life purely focused on gathering sensations.
Regardless of the cost to others or to himself, really.
And his life becomes this performance of dandyism, collecting beautiful, exotic things.
Jewels, instruments, fabrics,
Yeah.
all surface, all sensation.
But all the while, the picture in the attic is getting uglier and uglier.
And there's that disturbing detail that he actually takes real pleasure in watching it decay.
Observing the hideous lines because they prove he isn't changing externally. It's so narcissistic.
He's living this double life, the beautiful youth outside, the monster growing in the locked room.
Which inevitably leads to the confrontation years later.
Basil Hallward comes back. Dorian still looks impossibly young, maybe late 20s.
But it's actually the eve of his 38th birthday.
And Basil's heard the rumors, the dreadful things whispered about Dorian's influence, the ruined lives.
Basil still operates on that old belief. Sin has to show on a man's face eventually. He can't reconcile Dorian's beauty with the stories.
He insists, almost pleads with Dorian, wanting to see his soul, to know the truth.
And Dorian, in this moment of, what, madness of pride,
He decides to show Basil, to shatter his idealistic view forever.
he unveils the portrait,
And it's horrific. Withered, wrinkled, and loathsome.
twisted with cunning, hypocrisy, the face of pure evil, basically.
All the sins of nearly 20 years made visible.
And seeing that truth reflected in Basil's horrified eyes, something snaps in Dorian.
This wave of loathing for Basil Hallward hits him.
And he grabs a knife and murders him, right there. Kills the artist who created his beauty and his conscience.
The aftermath is chillingly cold. There's no real panic, just calculation.
He needs to get rid of the body.
Yeah.
And that's where Alan Campbell comes in.
The chemist. Dorian blackmails him, forces him to use his scientific knowledge.
Could destroy Basil's body completely. Scientific experiment becomes a tool for covering up murder.
Turning a man into a handful of ashes. It's the ultimate perversion using science to erase morality.
It perfectly fits the new hedonism. Crime isn't a sin, it's just a practical problem needing a neat scientific solution.
But even after that, Dorian isn't free, is he? He's haunted.
He tries one last thing. He performs a good deed, sparing an innocent country girl, Hetty Merton.
He hopes maybe this act of mercy will somehow fix the painting, reverse the damage.
He rushes back to check the canvas.
But it's even worse. Now there's a look of cunning in the eyes. The wrinkle of the hypocrite.
The painting knows his motive wasn't pure. It was vanity, maybe curiosity.
He realizes it's hopeless. The picture is his conscience, his soul, and it's inescapable.
So in a final act of rage and despair,
He grabs the same knife he used to kill Basil.
and stabs the portrait, trying to destroy the evidence, destroy his past, destroy the symbol of his sin.
But of course, that's not how it works.
The servants hear a cry, a crash. They break down the door,
And they find the portrait hanging on the wall, perfectly restored.
showing Dorian Gray in all the wonder of his exquisite youth and beauty, just as Basil painted him.
But on the floor,
Is the body of an old man, withered, wrinkled, and loathsome of visage.
unrecognizable except for the rings on his fingers, it's Dorian.
The moment he tried to destroy the soul in the painting, it snapped back into his own body, bringing all the accumulated corruption with it. Instant justice.
Wow. So the whole pursuit of eternal youth, eternal beauty on the surface.
This led to faster, deeper inner decay. That supposedly useless artwork held the moral truth all along.
And trying to live free from consequence purely for sensation.
Just made him a slave to his own hidden conscience, manifested in that painting.
He chose Lord Henry's philosophy, the surface.
Over Basil's art, the symbol, and paid the ultimate price.
It really brings you back to Basil, the artist.
Remember what he said? Every portrait that is painted with feeling is a portrait of the artist, not of the sitter.
Yeah. So the portrait became the ultimate record of Dorian's corrupted soul.
What does that final image, the restored, beautiful painting, tell us about Basil's original vision? His belief in Dorian's potential purity?
Did the artist's ideal somehow endure, even after the subject himself was completely lost?
It's a really profound question, isn't it? Whether that ideal beauty, once captured by the artist, has a life of its own, something to definitely think about.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep diving deep.